another Cool Cars, Interesting People episode, so we gotta fill up, and we'll do that at Gas King. It's the way to go. This is a 2018 Ford Focus RS from Troy Mahalis, who, by the way, also has the Great Canadian Garage Sale. You can check him out at gcgs.ca. This is the last year for the RS in North America. It was built in Germany and shipped to Ford North America. It's got factory all-wheel drive, 350 horsepower, Recaro seats, racing Brembo brakes, 4 different drive modes, including drift mode. Only for the final production cars, the RS also has a Quaife Limited slip front axle from the factory, plus some carbon fiber trim on the interior. Every option for the limited editions, including navigation, sunroof, heated seats, and steering wheel. Red is the most rare by far and will be the true collector color. For the last year, they only made 1,500 of them, 1,000 blue and only 500 in red. RS has also come from the factory with a set of high-performance, speed-rated Michelin Pilot Alpine snow and ice tires and forged RS wheels. Also, the RS comes with a free track day at a race car school and a limited edition collector kit with a CD, brochure, race school info, a gear shifter replica, and a letter from Ford and a collector factory RS car cover. By the way, folks, this car only has 3,800 kilometers on it, and it's for sale. The Ford RS is a dynamic package, just like our very special guest, John Pogorzelski. He runs GoodTimes, the new comedy club in downtown Lethbridge. While he has a university degree, he also has a doctorate in laughter, having performed regularly on comedy nights. Time to find out where the funny comes from. I'm Mark Campbell. This is Cool Cars, Interesting People. Hey, John.
Mark, how you doing?
Good. Say something funny now.
Oh, right on. Put me on the spot. I love it. That's fantastic. This is a nice car you got.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a new one. Are you fitting okay?
Yeah, it's comfortable.
All right, good. All right, let's do this.
All right.
Feel this.
Yeah. Some good RPMs there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm a big car guy.
Oh yeah.
What's your cars?
Oh really? What was your go-to car when you were a kid? What was your first one?
My first car was a 1986 Buick LeSabre.
Oh.
Bought it for $150.
You had so many women with that.
I was riding in style. It would stall when I came to a red light, and it was an automatic, but I still had to pop it in neutral and rev the engine, just so the car didn't die on me.
That's funny.
And then from there, I upgraded to one of those K cars.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chrysler K cars.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that thing was cool. Overheated. I ran it into the ground. I think the first 4 or 5 cars that I owned, I wrecked them all.
Oh.
Yeah. They all got destroyed before I could sell them. You got to put oil in cars or something.
Yeah.
Like
What
that.
is the deal with that? And what was your favorite car of those?
Well, I mean, favorite?
Yeah.
What was my least hated?
Yeah.
Yeah, the K car, definitely.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It was cool because it stood out from the other cars that my friends had, right?
Yeah.
The Buick LeSabre was just junk. And I did drive a Ford Focus for a little bit, but that's just a regular old car, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least the K car is this big boat that I had. Looked like I was a detective driving around town. I was 19 years old.
So let's go back. Where are you from? What's your story? Let's hear about John.
Yeah.
Big John.
Grew up, I guess, west of here in good old Regina, Saskatchewan.
Bag of bones.
Big Rider fan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be from Regina and not cheer for the Riders.
And they need a quarterback, but not anybody. That's.
Oh, I don't even pay attention anymore. I never made it into the CFL. That was my dream as a kid.
Oh really? Did you wanted to?
Yeah, I played Prairie Thunder.
Did you really?
CJFL, so I was a big football player.
Really?
And then I just got injured a bunch and wasn't that good. I mean, I was good, but I wasn't like getting into the university football good.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I tried out for the Regina Rams, got cut, and my dreams died. And so now I just, I'm a part-time fan.
Yep.
I'm cheering them on when they're in the playoffs in the Grey Cup, but I have no idea who's on the team right now.
What was your position as?
I was a linebacker.
Yeah.
When I was younger, and then I got fat, and then I got put on the O-line.
But you need the guys like you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's the thankless job of football to push people around. You get no glory. Nobody knows who you are. don't even get to tackle anybody. I did recover a fumble once as an O-lineman.
Fantastic.
So that was pretty nice. I just fell on it and touched the ball for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. So what got you to Lethbridge?
Oh yeah, just my brother moved here and I just couldn't get a job in Regina. I had a degree from the University of Regina.
What was the really
international business, and I wasn't doing a lot of international business in Regina. I was actually working sheet metal.
Oh really?
Which was just, I mean, not to rag on sheet metal, but I'm a delicate soul, and it's hard to work with that, you know. Cut up your hands a lot. You got to bash tin, and it just wasn't for me. So yeah. I moved out here for. Like I said, my brother was out here and he had some opportunity, so I came here and started working. And then my wife moved here too, and she got a job at the university.
Oh,
and
nice.
I just bought her house and built her family here.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's
excellent.
a nice little town to live in.
Yeah, and now you own this comedy club.
Yeah.
So where was the inspiration to get into the comedy world?
Oh, I've been doing comedy for about going on 5 years this November, and there's just not a lot of opportunity in Lethbridge. I know my friend Steve at the Owl, he runs an open mic once a month. And then I started running my own open mics once a month at the Telegraph Tap House.
Oh, yeah.
And then that got shut down because of a fight.
Oh, what?
Yeah, there was like, these guys stormed the stage and started beating up one of the comics. It was wild.
Oh, no. Nothing says funny than that, I guess. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
It was a memorable show, not for all the right reasons, but it was definitely memorable. And so I was running these open mics, and it's just, you know, we wanted to have more of a comedy scene here. We have a lot of comics in town that wanted more stage time, and, you know, a lot of people like stand-up comedy. And there was just, unless you wanted to pay $100 to go see a super famous comic at the NMAX,
right,
there wasn't really much option to go see shows, right?
Right.
So we decided to just kind of roll with it and open it up, and you know, I mean, the biggest reason is just I wasn't getting enough stage time, so I had to build my own stage to really
that's right.
get my jokes in there and refine myself as a comic. That's the thing. If you can't get the time yourself, just build it, right? And then you get all the time in the world. I host all our shows. I'm on the stage all the time.
Was there a point in your life where you said, you know what, I'm kind of a funny guy?
You know, like when I was like 19, right out of high school, and I always thought I could do stand-up, but it's hard. It's hard taking that leap and getting on stage.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, like when you're up there and you don't get people to laugh, it is awkward. It is the worst feeling. And as they say, every comic has to learn how to bomb. You gotta know what that feels like to.
You can't tell me there is one comic that hasn't bombed
Well,
before.
that's right. Everybody has.
Everybody, yeah.
I got booed off the stage in Medicine Hat.
Well, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, I told them that I voted NDP back in the 2015 or whenever that election was, and they didn't like that. And then I was like, hey, they didn't like our federal government either. I'm like, well, guys, we're all liberal. We all bleed red. And they didn't like that joke too much, and they booed me off the stage. And really made me question my comedy career at that point in time.
Have you had a chance to meet some real stand-up guy, like meet real professional comedian guys that have really done the tour and been making it as a living?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say the biggest comic I've met is Vladimir Kamano. He's been on an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's been featured on Jimmy Kimmel. He's working on it with NBC right now to get his own sitcom. I really hope that he blows up. That'd be awesome for the Good Times. It'd be like, hey, this guy was here.
Oh, yeah. Right? You had him here?
Yeah, he came to Good Times, performed a set, did a great job.
Nice.
Yeah, really good show. Like he's super humble guy, very funny guy, very humble guy. It was really nice meeting him, and you know, like America is the mecca of comedy.
Yeah.
Every comedian that you know, even if they're Canadian, they got their break in the States.
Right.
So I mean, that's kind of where you got to be if you want to make it big. Howie Mandel's Canadian; he made it in the States. Russell Peters made it in the States, right?
Yeah.
So that's obviously the goal for any comic is to get your green card. and go work down there and tell some jokes and get noticed.
Are you still is that kind of a thing for you to maybe do that?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if my wife's okay with me traveling America for a year telling jokes.
Living in the back of
living
a van
down by the river, right? That's right. Now I'm more focused on making our club successful and hopefully branching out and making a few small chains in smaller cities, right? We're not looking to go compete with Yuck Yucks in bigger places in Calgary and Edmonton. We're looking to bring comedy to Smaller cities of around 100, 200,000 people like Lethbridge.
And look, here is your comedy club now.
Right in front. Hey, you got a good spot here.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Hey, is Southern Stationers still downstairs?
We have a secret Southern Stationers
Handshake?
not handshake, mural.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it down there?
Yeah, it's down there.
Can we see?
I'll show it
Will
to
we
you.
see? All
Absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
It's in the back.
All right. Well, here we are in your nightclub downstairs.
This is it.
We'll have a look at that Southern Stationers thing a little later on because I want to find it.
Yeah, it's a nice little mural that's in there.
Maybe we'll get Nicolas Cage to come in and have that as a clue.
I would love
something.
that. I would love that. Bring Nick Cage down here. That'd be great.
So what made you decide this? Was it just because it was available, or and tell us about any problems or how tough it was to get this going?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning.
When we decided to open the club, we started looking around, and naturally we thought downtown would be our best spot because it's centrally located.
Okay.
Right, going on the west side, you're really only going to get west side folk coming there. And,
No, we don't want them.
well, I mean, I do. I want everybody. I want, get some Tabor folk in here for all
sure.
I care.
Yeah.
But it was more or less just, let's be centrally located, somewhere easy to find, somewhere that has people walking down the street can see us. Yeah. So we knew we wanted to go downtown, and then we started looking at places, and a few places that we've seen, they were nice spots and everything was good with them, but because of the windows and letting light in, light is not conducive for comedy. Right? You never see comedy in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
It's not really done, right?
Right.
Like you like to have a dark setting and focus the stage lights on the performer and not have everything so bright. Yeah. So we're looking for a place without windows. And we just happened to be walking by one day when we saw this. And we came downstairs and we checked it out, and it was just all around exactly what we were looking for.
Good.
It looked horrible at the time. The painting was like smoker's yellow. Mm-hmm. That yellow teeth you get. That's kind of what we had on the walls there. Yeah. There was no bar put in. What we found out from the city later is there was no proper ventilation in here, so the landlord had to put in this whole new vent system. Yeah. We didn't have the proper exit signs, so that had to get done.
And that should be done, right?
It should be done. I mean, if power goes out, you want people to be able to get out of the building. Yeah. And then just like fire caulking and all this other stuff that the city just said, this needs to be done in order for us to have an occupancy assembly down here, and that's kind of what we went with. So we just said, okay, this is what we're doing. Let's put our head down and go for it. And I had never, ever opened up a brick and mortar place in my life. Yeah. I walked into the city in, I think it was like June of last year, and I'm like, I want a business license. And they were like, hold on a second.
Here's some things to do.
Here's like 20 forms you got to fill out. And so I looked at that, and at the time it seemed insurmountable. I was like, I can't possibly go ahead and get all this done, we were just four guys that were each throwing like a few grand into this place. We weren't a big corporation with just money to blow through, right? So when I seen all these fees and permits and this and that and the other thing, it was a little daunting. Yeah. A little daunting.
But if there's an advice you could give to somebody who's going to do something like you, what would you say? I mean, you power through it, right?
Oh, be prepared to eat ramen noodles. Ramen noodles and porridge. Yeah, they're super cheap to buy, and it really helps the finances there. Just having a plan, right? Like maybe checking with the city what is needed beforehand and going through all this. I did get lucky. We had a really good landlord, and when we signed the lease, it was signed that we take occupancy of the building once the city approves us. Right. So if we can, and the landlord had to do those renovations in order for us to take hold of, or to get the city approval, take hold of the building. Yeah. So knowing what you're signing.
Good.
There was a few leases we looked at. There was one guy, I don't want to name names or name places. I'll tell you later off camera. But he really wanted to rake us over the coals. He wanted us to sign right now. Yeah. Sign right now and commit and be in. And we found out later from somebody else that looked at this place that it had asbestos. There was just probably $1 million renovation needed.
Oh my gosh.
And I am not $1 million man.
No.
So that would have been tough.
Well, so talk about how exciting it was. Okay, you got all of that stuff out of the way. You went through all the paperwork, and that the thing. You're going to open up. You got comedians. People are going to come. Yeah. Talk about that night.
Oh, I barely remember it. It was so stressful, and because we did something really ambitious on our opening night. We brought down 7 headlining comics to do a showcase for the upcoming 7 shows that we're going to be having. So coordinating that was I was like, what am I doing? Why am I starting off like this?
Yeah.
But I really wanted to show people like the talent that's going to be coming through on the first night. So come down, we sold $10 tickets. We ended up losing money on our first night, but it wasn't about making profit right then and there. It was just about opening the doors to good fanfare and showing people what's on offer and what you can expect from this place. At the time, we didn't have the tables and chairs we did now. We didn't even have a proper sound system. It was a lot of fly-by-night because there was so much more that had to go into this place that I realized that when we had set the date and we were moving towards it, it was like, hey, well, this date's getting closer and we're still not where we want to be. But we got it open to the point that it was, I guess, good enough. It wasn't perfect. Still not perfect. You know, there's still a lot of things we want to do with it. But we got to the point where, like, hey, well, we're happy with when we open our doors that people will come in and they'll see the potential and they'll see what this can be. And that day when we opened up and people were coming in, we had 4 shows. Each 4 shows were sold out.
Great.
And people just coming in back and forth, and we were all running around because, well, I mean, surfing, you got to make sure people have drinks. And, you know, and it was all a learning experience for us, and it went by so quickly. It was such a great night. Like our reviews just shot up on Facebook. People saying they were leaving, their cheeks were hurting when they were leaving.
Oh, nice, yeah. That was my question. Was it funny?
Yeah,
if it's a comedy club, it better be funny.
That's right. Yeah. We've actually had some really good shows down here.
Yeah,
really, really good shows. If you go on the Facebook and you see our reviews, like people that have been here and been like, hey, this is great. You know, it's exactly what Lethbridge needs. I've been told that a lot.
Good. Talk about comedians. What does it take to be a comedian? And I mean, you're dealing with them now on a business level, but once they get here, and you know, can you define what a comic is like? Like, does he have a certain sort of he got a background, or he was depressed for a long time. He found the funny because he was depressed, or do you know what I mean? Can you define a comedian and what it takes to be funny?
Oh, the craziness.
Yeah.
Like everybody you meet, they've got something to them, right? Like there's a reason everybody takes a stage because they want to share their thoughts and receive laughter from people. Yeah. Right? And not everybody needs that in their life. There's a lot of people that don't care if they make people laugh. But just that want to perform, that want to be there, but not just to perform, but to make people laugh. Right? And that's the toughest thing to do because, I mean, you're making people laugh from thoughts that come into your head. Yeah. And there's no inside jokes. Yeah. Right? It's not like you're sitting around with buddies and you're talking about Cam and Dan and the things they did over the weekend and that funny story. Yeah. That doesn't translate well with the crowd. They don't know Cam. They don't know Dan. They don't know why that's supposed to be funny. Yeah. So you're really having to come up with material that is relatable to strangers. Mm-hmm. And that is such a hard thing to do, right? Like with all the comics I know, everybody we talk to, I mean, we write jokes all the time. And 90%, 85% maybe, if we're lucky, is garbage. Yeah. You know, where the other 10, 15%, that's the material that you're like, hey, that's actually not too bad. Mm-hmm. But even when you write a good joke, you still gotta go on stage and perform it and find the ways that really make it laugh and that makes it pop. Yeah. Right? I know anytime I write a joke, it's you go on stage, perform it. After performing it for 4 months, the joke is so different from when you originally made it. Right? It has a life of its own. Yeah. In a sense, and it's just you need to be able to put the time. And
you need to workshop it.
Get on stage and keep doing it. Right, and put yourself out there night after night. Every time you go on stage, right, you're going up there, and it's tough too because here in Lethbridge, I mean, we only have so many people that are coming out to amateur nights. Yeah. Not everybody wants to see amateur stand-up comedy. So you're seeing a lot of the same people that come again and again, and I mean, you don't want to keep telling them the same jokes, right? I mean, a joke's funny the first time, maybe a second time you still get a laugh, but 3, 4, 5 times hearing the same joke. Yeah, it's really hard to make somebody laugh with that. Keeping people on their toes, and just trying to stay fresh and stay with it. Like it's all the comics I've known and talked to, it's all the same story. You know, it's a grind. It's get out there.
Are they insecure? Is every comic insecure?
I'm not gonna say every comic's insecure, especially the headliners we ring through. A lot of them have been through that insecurity phase and are now at a phase where they know they've been doing it for 20 plus years, right? I would say it's like any profession. I mean, if you go talk to like a first year journeyman, there's probably a little bit of insecurities there. You know, it's the first house he's doing the plumbing for by himself. You're gonna be a little nervous about that. Is everything running at the right line? You get a little scared. You talk to a 20-year-old journeyman, they're not scared anymore. They know exactly what they're doing. They've been through it, right? So the insecurities you more find through the open mic comics and the comics that are trying to come up and grind through it, or else like somebody who's doing a headlining set for maybe the second, third time. Because there's still that nerves there that like I haven't done this enough to be 100% confident in what I'm delivering. But you got to do it. You got to start somewhere, right?
Okay, so can I just? I've always wanted to do stand-up. I'm too scared. But can I try something? Try a bit.
I'm gonna make that happen.
Okay, I'll go over here, and you
want me to introduce you?
You introduce me.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. All right.
Actually, here. Yeah, you can stand behind the curtain.
Oh, okay.
And then you can jump out just like the pros do.
Okay. All right. Like this. Okay.
Yeah, just like that. Just like that. All right. Normally we don't have the TV up here, but. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got our next comic coming up. He is a city councilor here in Lethbridge, former weatherman. Please put your hands together for the very funny Mark Campbell.
Thank you.
Insert audio.
Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Mark Campbell, and I'm short, and I'm insecure as a person, and my wife always says to me that I'm not much of a man. And I said, yes, I am. And she says, well, every time we get into an argument, you get defensive and your voice goes up. And I said, no, it doesn't. And she keeps on saying to me that, you're not like the virile man that I was hoping that you would be. And I felt kind of bad. And I think she might have a point, because I went to the doctor and I asked him about a vasectomy, and he couldn't find my balls. Good night, everybody.
Hey! See what we do. There's two things to know in the comedy world. The first one, if you're going to keep the mic in the stand, it's good to adjust it so it's not blocking your face. Because we had it here, and your eyes were here, right? So you're getting all the facial expressions. So when you go up there, you just got to come up to the mic, or you do anything. Just give it a little adjust, so then you sit in here.
There you go.
And then you can really use the stand as a prop.
There you go. There. Yeah, that's
another pro tip. If you're not using the stand, take the mic out
and move it like that.
Move the stand out of the way, right? Because you don't want to have an obstruction in front of you when you're telling your jokes.
Wow. Now you tell me.
Well, you just sprung that on me. So that's how you start. Comedy 101.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay. But did you laugh? The question is, did you laugh?
I like the balls joke. Couldn't find the balls, right? That's good. That's the punchline.
Yeah, I was working on that for about 3 years now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, 12 more years, you'll have a 5-minute set. It'll be good.
Well, that's the thing. I bet you for guys who are wanting to get into comedy, and they say, I've got all these jokes, I'm writing them down. Then they get through them, and all the nervousness, and they get on stage, supposed to do 5 minutes, and all their jokes are done in the first 2.
Yeah, you see that a lot. Yeah. A lot. It goes one of two ways. You either have the people who come on stage for the first time and do like 2-3 minutes, and they're just happy to get on stage and get off. And then you get other people who feel they're ready for their Netflix special. And they want to be on stage for 45 minutes because that's how long they've seen a comedian do before. And they just ramble on forever. We actually had a guy come on our stage one time and do that. And we were flashing the red light at him. We got a red light up there. It tells you your time's up. And he ignored the red light. And we had to legitimately go up on stage with a hook and okay, man, there's open mic night. We got 12 other comics that want to stage time. They want to be here at 2 in the morning. So it's one or two ways usually. It's either quick and short, or just long and forever. Quick and short's always much better. Absolutely.
So who are your heroes of comedy right now, or in the past? Any if you go back, guys that you just say, wow, he's so funny. Like I think of myself. I remember watching the Ed Sullivan Show, which you probably wouldn't remember, but I remember seeing Richard Pryor, and every time as a kid, he wasn't into the blue stuff at the time, but on Ed Sullivan, it made me laugh all the time. And a guy like George Carlin made me laugh. So who are your guys?
The two older comics that really took me off of comedy, Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
If you ever watch Raw and Delirious,
Yeah,
those two
bet.
stand-up
Sure,
specials,
yeah.
oh man, I shouldn't have been watching them when I was a kid. I don't know why my parents let me watch that, but they did. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great what he was doing. Jerry Seinfeld, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Seinfeld. Watch it all the time. Love his stand-up.
Yeah.
He's very clean. And it impresses me how you can make mundane jokes out of like a hair in the shower. I mean, a lot of my jokes are about my wife and our sex life. And my brother and his sex life.
Oh, wow.
And just, there's a lot of like human anatomy jokes that come in. And that's is the best way for me to say a dick joke. Right?
Yeah. But I mean, I just in Vegas recently, I saw both Jay Leno and the next night was Tim Allen.
Oh yeah.
Totally, but two total different styles and language. Like Jay Leno never swore at all. Like, and Tim Allen was just always, constantly.
Really?
Yeah. You wouldn't expect that from the Tool Man, but he was nasty. Funny nasty though.
That's like Bob Saget.
Yeah, exactly.
Danny Tanner from Full House.
Exactly.
He is like the rawest comedian you'll ever see.
So I mean, what, you have to respect a guy who doesn't have to swear and makes you laugh.
Yeah.
At the same time, I kind of found Tim Allen to be a little funnier because of the way he was able to swear like that.
Edgier,
So I don't know what's the answer when you're coming up as a comedian. I guess finding
whatever works for you. Right. Like finding what your niche and what works for you. I mean, if every comic went up there and just swore all the time, it wouldn't matter anymore. I try not to swear as much. I think a well-placed F-bomb can go a long way. Right. So it's not to say that I don't swear, but I always like to think of it back when I was playing football. The coach who yelled at me all the time, eventually you would just learn to drown out his yelling because he just yelled at you all the time and it didn't matter. But the coach who never yelled, when you messed up and he yelled that one time, you would stand and listen. You would be like, I did something. Right. So I like to think of that with the way I swear in my stand-up routine. Right? Like I don't swear all the time. I don't drop it, but every now and then, a good one where it's like,
it's a big, that has a big impact on it.
It hits people a little more, right? It's just finding your niche. I mean, I know comics that like to go the clean cut route, which is all fine. Jim Gaffigan would be one of those guys, right?
And hilarious.
Talk about McDonald's and Pizza Pops for hours, It's just some guys can make a telephone book funny. Right? Whereas other guys, they're more about like their body language and their humor and, the weird thoughts that are coming out of their head and like the shock value almost, right? So it's just, every comic is different. Every comic has their own kind of voice, what they like to deliver, and it's just finding it through practice.
And what about do you respect guys who do impressions? And what about ventriloquists, puppet guys?
Hey,
if
you're making the crowd laugh, it's all good. Right? Like we had a comic in here, Simon King. He's not an impressionist per se at all, really. But he did impressions at the end of his set, and they were fantastic. But they were impressions that you don't normally hear. Right. Like he did. This is a basketball game without color commentary. And he started like squeaking his voice that sounded like sneakers just like rubbing on the floor. It was incredible. It was incredible how he did it, right? So I mean, as long as you're good at what you do and you practice your art, have at her, mime for all I care. Right? There's a guy I've seen on America's Got Talent, Tape Face.
Oh right. He's got a gig in Vegas.
He's a super funny guy. He doesn't say a word. Right? Like, so I mean, whatever works for you, whatever you have crafted for your niche, I'm all for any kind of entertainment.
So as you look at the long-term goal of your place here, what are you looking at? What do you need to make this like the go-to place and to be consistent and to deliver all the time?
Well, probably marketing. Marketing's tough. Getting the word out there and just like more butts in the seats, right? Absolutely. I mean, we've had great shows. We've had some sold out shows, absolutely. But having that more on a consistent basis and just knowing that people in Lethbridge know there's a comedy club here, and it's like, hey, what are we going to do tonight? Well, there's a show. We go take in a show. Right. Rather than going to the movies, where you're going to see the exact same movie that somebody in New York is seeing, you can come down here where you're getting an independent show that is not going to be like any other comedy act ever again. In the world. Right? Because even when I do my same jokes, I mean, there's sometimes just the way the crowd reacts, sometimes people like to say something, and then you say something back to them, and then you do a little bit of crowd work, and that's something that's completely natural. That's off the cuff. That's like what you're never going to see. Right? So you're getting a really unique experience when you come down here. Plus, unlike the movie theaters, you can have a few
few cocktails. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. How often are you open right now?
Right now, we're open Monday to Saturday.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
So what happens on a Monday and a Tuesday?
Karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just rock some karaoke down here with cheap drinks. And
So that's why it's Good Times. It's not just comedy club.
It's not just Good Times. It's we're monikering ourselves. Is that a word, monikering?
Sure, it's a great word. Yeah.
You knew what I meant.
I think they use it in Northern Ireland.
There you go. I'm Northern Irish, I guess. But we're putting it out there as Good Times Comedy and Entertainment Club.
Yeah, sure.
We're actually waiting from the fine folks at the City of Lethbridge to approve us of a zoning change to become an entertainment establishment that will allow us to put up TVs here. So when the Raptors are playing Game 5 of the NBA Finals, we can show that game instead of not showing the game and sitting down here streaming it on our computer. Yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah. That had to be.
That has to be done. We're not allowed to dance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a thing right now. There's no dancing allowed in here.
That's kind of weird.
It is. When we seen it on we got our. What do you call that? The city license.
Yeah.
And it just gave us the rules, like this is not an entertainment establishment, no VLTs, which is fine.
Yeah.
None of us are really into gambling or want that here. Yeah. But no TVs showing sports, which was kind of a downer. Because I like watching, a good soccer match or a football match every now and then.
Sure.
Anything really. We can't even put Just for Laughs on. So that's why we don't have TVs right now, because we can't show anything. Yeah. And then it said no dancing. And that one really made us laugh, because we were like, what constitutes the dancing?
Good times with no dancing.
Yeah. You can't have a great time.
You can only have a good time.
Strictly good times. Because once you start dancing, that puts it to a whole nother level, right?
Wow, you're in a whole can of worms there.
Once we get that bylaw change, maybe we got to change the great times.
So how does that come about? What do you have to do to comply to good
Fill out a form,
great time? Okay.
Fill out a form, pay some money.
Always. Then you'll have great times.
Then we can have great times with the form filling out and money spent. Money well spent if they approve it.
That's right. Let me ask you about. I mean, obviously, and I'm on the Heart of the City Committee, so it's important for me to see stuff, becoming vibrant downtown.
Yeah.
And of course, we have our issues downtown. What are you finding as far as that goes? Are you finding any problems, or how are you dealing with anything that is not what you want?
Well, I grab a broom and sweep up all the cigarette butts outside of our storefront right now. That's probably my biggest one, because I went to the city. I'm like, hey, we need an ashtray, and a garbage can would be nice. And they said that, you have to do that yourself. And I found that a little funny, because if you look down the street, there's like 5 garbage cans and 5 ashtrays and 5 benches that all look the exact same. Right. And I wonder if they each went and individually did that themselves, but bought the exact same garbage can, ashtray, and bench. Or if the city put it in there. So just not being able to get an answer for that is like, okay, well, I guess we just got to do our own ashtray. Right. Of which a few of the other places don't want like a Folgers can sitting outside with a bunch of cigarette butts in it. Yeah. So right now we just go out there and sweep it up all the time. Right. That's pretty much what we have to do. That's my only annoyance.
Really? Okay, good.
Other than that, everything, I like being downtown. I like having the foot traffic. We got good neighbors. It's all around great. I don't see a lot of the issues that people talk about. Great. Maybe I just am less astute to be looking for them. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't happen on 7th as much, but we've enjoyed our time being down here, and we love the downtown. So good.
So have you got is there a long-term goal where you're saying we've got to make this happen by this, or otherwise we just can't continue on? What are you thinking?
The end date, the end game. No, it's once we run out of money, I guess we're done. If we have to make it happen before we run out of money and be able to pay our rent, and if that ever happens, then I guess we just do what Donald Trump does and go bankrupt and start another company and try again somewhere.
And run for president, Prime Minister,
Maybe city council again.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, you ran for city council.
I did. You crushed me on the votes. You took me down hard, Mark.
I was going just for you.
I know. They were sitting by me in the forums, and it's like, he was telling me that I'm going to beat you, and I was like, yeah, you are.
No,
It was fun running for politics, and just I actually tried to get some jokes from it. And political jokes are tough.
yeah, they don't.
You got to
Yeah.
give Jay Leno a lot of credit for being able to talk politics the way he does.
Yeah.
But it's expected from him.
Yeah.
Right. So when people are seeing him, they're expecting that to a certain degree. Whereas when they're coming down here at GoodTimes, they're not really expecting me to be making jokes about the NDP or Conservative Party and
or whoever, or
UCP, NDP,
or Chris Spearman.
Spearman. That's a whole.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody loves a good Spearman joke.
All right, so if people are saying I should check out this place, what's your best sell job as to why they should come down to GoodTimes?
Well, you're gonna laugh your butt off. That's if you're looking for entertainment, that's just what we do here.
Yeah.
We have set up our bar to be a comedy club. There's other comedy shows in the city. I'm not going to give them any shout outs, but there is other places that you can go check out a comedy show here and there.
Yeah.
Those are not set up. They're not a comedy club. They're not set up for it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're on a big stage that musicians normally take. You got high roofs that don't have the laughter traps in our roof here. Like I can jump up and touch a roof. It's 10 feet high.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're down here, the atmosphere for a comedy show is incredible.
Okay.
Once we get the bylaw changed and we start doing music as well,
Right.
we're going to have some intimate shows. We're going to be doing jazz nights. We're going to be
nice.
doing things more outside of the box
Great.
than you would see at a normal place. We're not going to be hooking up like rock bands and doing kind of the same thing that the other music venues are doing. We're looking for more independent artists to come down and do their thing.
Okay.
Right?
Good.
So we're improv shows, things that you don't normally get to see, you get to check out. We brought down magicians.
Nice.
We brought down a mentalist.
Ben Price.
Ben Price.
He was great.
Magic.
He's very funny.
He
guy.
was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, that's great.
We had
Good.
Wes Barker.
Yeah.
He's a local guy that is now based out of Toronto. He fooled Penn and Teller.
Oh, yeah.
Penn and Teller fooled us. Yeah.
Wow.
He was also on AGT.
America's Got Talent.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
he sold
fantastic.
out. Lo and behold, the guy
How about
with the
that?
TV credits sold out. No problem. Yeah.
I hope everything goes really well for you, and this is just, it becomes the next Toots Shore.
Toot Shore. I think that was a word back in the 60s. I wasn't born there, Mark. I don't know what that means.
I think it was a big comedy club so back then. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you know what? Before we go, I got to go check out Southern Stationers.
Yeah,
Just have a quick look. Come on.
It's in our storage, so
come
I'll
on.
show you there.
Come on, guys.
This is the green room where the comics hang out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have. I get a little lounge there.
Still smells like skunk.
Well, I don't think there's skunk you're smelling there, Mark. Yeah, so this it's like a little mural that's been here. We as you can see, we painted the walls.
Yeah.
Because this was the yellow smoke color that I said the club looked like.
Yeah, perfect.
So we came here and we painted them white, but we didn't want to paint over this because they're like, well, this is old school, right? Like this is just nostalgic and kind of shows where the building came from, and it's good to keep a little piece of history in there. So we decided not to paint over it and just paint this side, and it's hard to get rid of that color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's still some stationery right there.
Yeah.
Southern Stationers.
Oh, I always thought she was typing, but she's sewing. Or he.
We don't judge here.
No.
Hey.
I just realized there's a tie there, curly hair, and it's probably a guy. But yeah, he's sewing. Look at that. I always thought he was typing.
John, pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It was great.